Question? That's not a question, that's a request. Well, I mean, if you read my book, plug, you'll see that, I mean, I was always had a lot of rock influences. I grew up around my cousin who was all about rock. So a lot of the guys who played on the early Ice-T albums were rock musicians. They ended up becoming Body Count. And they used to come around my studio when I would make my rap album and be like, Ice, man, let me put a guitar on here, this, that. And I was like, nah, man, this is rap. So eventually I just said, y'all are all unemployed, let's just make a band. And Body Count was just me having fun. It was something we made to do to gig around LA. Next thing you know, Perry Farrell had us out on Lollapalooza. Next thing you know, we had an album. And next thing you know, the president was trying to shut my ass down. So that was just the way it goes when you know, question up at the top.
You asked this question a lot during the movie. What didn't she grab you that first in your mind?
My favorite, honestly, is the one that came on at the end. Microphone Fiend. That's the one, you know, when it comes on, you know, I'm just like, damn, fiending after 12, I'm worse than the gremlin, feed me trip hop, and I start trembling. You know what I mean? Come on, it's like I was a fiend before I became a teen. I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream, music orientated, so when hip hop was originated, I did it like pieces of puzzles, complicated. I mean, you Rakim is just dope, you know? Woo! So, we all got a question in the middle.
Takes a Nation of Millions. What would our whole thing was to find a place, you know, and find a place for ourselves, and also being able to go to the blueprint that Grandmaster Caz has set, and then also being able to have such a peer as Ice-T. I remember the first time coming out west, and Ice-T and Africa Islam and Evil E, they stopped us right before we did our first gig out there, and they said, "Look, man, there's rules out here. I'm just letting you know." So we had this. What would you say, Ice? We had this connection with us of the unsaid and the said, and that's what this movie does. I mean, really serious. This movie for us could go 15 hours long.
Totally.
And this is the only man that could put something like this together because he tied it all together. So back when, you know, when we was actually making a place, you're thinking, how do we come in, be competitive, mark our place, and at the same time also, how do you have that bite? How you always got to find an adversary. And our adversary was the government is responsible. Being that this was going on. Because as an MC, you got to find an adversary. I think Eminem, he found an adversary in himself. And he had that bite. You got to have that bite. And, you know, that was our whole thing musically and also with your words. Just have that bite for something that you have displeasure on. You know, so.
One of the keys, though, when we were coming out was you have to stay totally clear of someone else's area. You know, so once I seen Public Enemy with the S1W, you cannot do that. You can't be LL. You can't be, you have to set, and Russell told me back in the days, he says, people need a one-word definition of who you are. So when they come to see Ice-T, you know, it's not a one word, but that's that LA player. It's like, what are we getting? We're getting Ice-T, that LA cat that talks that LA shit. Okay, he's got that. You got NWA. You got a gang of them. You know, because I was one, but like Dre said, when they came, they said, we're a gang called niggas with attitude. So now here's 4 of them screaming and shitting. They're louder than me.
Can I say one thing? Ice is always, this is always stuck in my mind as far as statements. Ice said, and you know, this as an MC, it's a two-sided thing. Either you see the brilliance of the originators and people that come along that are so good, you either going to be inspired, or really, as Ice-T said, they're so good, you just going to quit. You're like, man, fuck that, I ain't doing this. So as he opens up the film in the beginning, I'm dying as I'm here. So it's like, okay.
Lord Jamar. That's Lord Jamar.
Where we start? You know?
Yeah, you can't do it. Everybody can't do it. Question.
I hope you're a good person.
Right here, what's up? Ice-T, Grandmaster Caz, and Chuck D. I think, I don't know, Melly Mel had a lot to do with when I came out, because he taught me that you could say a message. You know, I was listening to rap, and I'm like, when I heard the message, I'm like, oh, you can add content to this. And I think that was very most inspirational. Who was yours, Caz? You were the first. Who were you listening to?
Barry Manilow. Yeah. A lot of my musical influence come from early, like Chuck said earlier, like the 60s, you know, the 70s. I listened to classic rock, you know, growing up. When I grew up, there was one radio station. It wasn't a black radio station, white radio station, talk radio station, college radio. It was one radio station. WABC. And they played Simon Garfunkel along with the Jackson 5. They played, you know what I mean? And my influences is from all of that. So there was no MC for me to look at to say, oh, I want to be like that dude, because I was one of the first MCs. So among my peers, Melly Mel. I'd have to say Melly Mel, because he's the only one close to me. As far as this microphone is concerned, the only person that I respected as an MC back in the day. Since then, a lot of people have come along. KRS-One, Chuck, Ice, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, who's like my son in this hip-hop thing. You know, Cool G Rap, and all of the cats, you know what I mean, that helped to make this landscape called rap, hip-hop, or MCing. But I didn't have anybody to look at, to pattern myself after.
Well, I get envious when I look at basketball and baseball and football, and they talk about the Hall of Fames and all that. And when Ice put this movie together, I'm like, yo, this is what I like. You know, fuck sports for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I just got so many stories to tell. Like, for example, when you show KRS-One, I know this for experience. Cats can say they rap, they spit, they do this or whatever, but when KRS-One walks in the room, it changes the atmospheric condition of anybody that thinks that they can rap. It's like, oh, what do you do? No, I just, you know, I'm a plumber. I don't rap. I got a couple of, oh yeah, I drive for you because I don't know. I seen KRS-One change the goddamn temperature in the room when he walks in. He's imposing, he's big, and he's ready to go. I mean, that's just amazing. And then people like Caz and Ice, they remember lyrics from they remember every single lyric. And as far as that ability, I've always envied that ability to remember every single word that you ever wrote. And they have a matrix of catalog. And you saw Caz's books in the studio. I mean, come on, man. You're talking like 35 years of just understanding they could spit every single line. And then Ice-T is known for knowing all your catalog too. So he's that teleprompter he was talking about.
Last question, let's get right here.
I want to say, great job. I agree with Chuck said, 15 hours to go over the stats for it. So obviously there's a TV series or a part 2 coming out of it. But I want you to tell me now, who didn't make it to the screen that you interviewed? A lot of people.
I mean, I can't really tell you who we didn't make. I mean, there's so many. The thing of it is, there's a lot of people. And, you know, this is the Sundance cut. And the next, look, Glenn, no names. No name. Because you know what? Because I mean, if I start naming people, it seem like they were disrespected. So we're not gonna say that. But there's a lot more to this film, and I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Go out and tell people about it. All right? Thank you.